look around. I'll just look around the other side. Not bad. Not bad at all. Thank you. I need all the help I can get. My quiz? Yeah. Jeff Green, 3-car. Okay, okay. That's like saying they're Bodine and Wallace. Didn't narrow it down much. Yeah, yeah, no milking, Ned.
Hollywood.
Hey, Ned. On Mark Martin's crew. Okay.
Lovendahl, L-O-V-E-N-D-A-H-L or something.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Can I talk? Okay, mic check, test 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that bright enough now on our face? We should be bright boys. He said you can take it down for the time being, so thank you.
Park. Yes, he led 97 laps, but he had to survive this wild spin out of turn 2 to come home in 13th spot. Not a top 10, but good enough to reassume the points lead. Johnny Benson, our point leader, gets set for the Battle of Brooklyn.
Well, Johnny Benson Jr. has led the points championship for much of this young season, but as of late, he's swapped the points lead back and forth with Chad Little. He's on top now, but Michigan has not been the best place for him. He's qualified good up here a couple of times. He's been on his roof one time 2 years ago, and last year he broke a motor early in the race. What do you think about this place coming in here leading the points or something like that? Okay, now let's go to the guy that's chasing Johnny Benson Jr. He's standing by with Bill Weber.
Okay, Kyle, Chad Little is 7 points behind Johnny Benson Jr. and is in a little bit of trouble here. He starts 32nd in the Bear Extra Strength Ford, but that's nothing unusual for Chad. In fact, at Daytona, he had to take a provisional. He started 42nd, dead last, and came back to win the first of his 6 wins this season. Chad, you changed springs and shocks after your final practice. The question is, can you come from 32nd to get number 7 today? Yeah, I think so. The record for wins on a super speedway in one season in the Busch Series is 5. Chad shares that with Mark Martin. He'll try and break that record today. Meanwhile, let's go to the latest winner in the Busch Series. He's with John Kernan.
Well, Bill, a couple of weeks ago, after Jason Keller found his way into victory lane at IRP, he was basically speechless. Well, Jason, you've had a couple of weeks to think about it. How big was that victory?
It was extremely large.
Well, Keller is carrying that momentum into the race today here at Michigan. In fact, he qualified 3rd. That's best among the Busch regulars.
ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you live to the picturesque Irish Hills of Michigan, side of the beautifully manicured Michigan International Speedway. And seeing today's NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Detroit Gasket 200. It is a beautiful day in central Michigan. Temperature 82 degrees, 43% humidity, sunny skies, and no chance of rain. After 18 events of 26 this year on the Busch Tour, take a look. The point standings, we told you, are very, very tight. There's a separation, 7 points between Benson and Little. Mike McLaughlin, it's his second year on the Tour, back in 3rd spot. Last week's winner, Jason Keller, in 4th, and Jeff Green rounding out the top 5. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, and welcome to Michigan International Speedway. You know, the Busch cars have a very short history at this racetrack, and it doesn't take long to figure out, aside from speed, experience is the key factor in being successful here. Take a look at the 3 winners so far in only 3 events. Names like Bodine. Okay. Names like Bodine, Martin, and Labonte are the winners here. And if the front row's any indication, take a look. Dale Jarrett and Mark Martin, we could have 4 in a row. But unlike normal days when qualifying tells you the faster cars at the front of the field, that may not be the case here at Michigan. For more, here's Ned and Benny.
Well, Jerry, the first round of qualifying was scheduled for Thursday afternoon, and they did start qualifying, but rain interrupted after just 12 cars had made qualifying runs. Jeff Green was the fastest at that time, but they came back the next morning. It was much cooler, and the track was faster, so 9 drivers beat Jeff Green as far as qualifying is concerned. So, Benny, we got some good cars starting far back in the field.
I think that's terrific. We've got fast cars in the front, fast cars in the middle, and fast cars in the back. Chad Little away in the back, and let's be certain he will be going towards the front. It will keep us and our ESPN cameramen busy today trying to find all the races we're going to see from the very front to the back.
And that's the field as they line up right there. It'll be 42 strong, getting set for 200 laps here at MIS. Back with live Busch competition in a moment.
Yahoo!
Four, 3, 2, 1, and go, Jerry.
25-year-old Greenville, South Carolina driver Jason Keller has carried momentum to Michigan. The Greenville Gourmet feasted on short track competitors 2 weeks ago at Indianapolis Raceway Park, getting his first ever Busch Series victory in only his 2nd full year on the Tour. And yes, the crew definitely had reason to celebrate. Chad Little wants to rebound here at Michigan, but hey, it'll take quite an effort today. He starts way back in 32nd spot. Why does he want to rebound? Hey, take a look. He started 34th at Indianapolis Raceway Park. He was the point leader, but he had a miserable night, had tire problems, and eventually had an alternator problem that caused the battery to go dead. He sat patiently in the pits, and while he sat there, his point lead sort of drifted away. Who took over the points? Johnny Benson, last year's Rookie of the Year, who starts 8th today in Michigan, the Lipton T Chevy. But his night wasn't all roses either at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Yes, he led 97 laps, but he had to survive this wild spin out of turn 2 to come home in 13th spot. Not a top 10, but good enough to reassume the points lead. Johnny Benson, our point leader, gets set for the Battle of Brooklyn.
Well, I'm with Johnny Benson Jr., who has led the points for most of this Busch Grand National season. But as of late, he's been swapping it back and forth with another guy. He's been to Michigan twice. Once, he ended up on his roof in the middle of the backstretch. Last year, he qualified 7th and ended up breaking a motor. This year, you've qualified 8th again. You're running really strong all year long. You've been leading the points. You've been in contention almost every race. I know you don't have a lot of experience here over the last couple of years, but I know you're looking forward to this one.
Yeah, we sure are. You know, Bates Motorsports team's doing a good job, and we're just going to see if we can keep the Lipton T Monte Carlo on the ground this time, you know. that was quite the experience here, but we're just going to see what we can do today.
All right. I want to say hey to his mother because I'm a big fan of his mother's, but let's go talk to the guy that's chasing him in the points right now with Bill Weber.
Okay, Kyle, this is Chad Little. He's 7 points behind Benson in the point race, but far behind him on the grid. This Bear Extra Strength Ford is in the 32nd starting position, but that's nothing new to this guy. He took a provisional at Daytona, started 42nd, and came back to win. You've won 6 times this year, Chad. The question is, you've made some big changes, springs and shocks on this car. Can you come from 32nd for number 7 today?
I mean, I think we've got a shot at it. We did make some pretty drastic changes, but, you know, the car called for them, and the weather today is going to kind of play in our hands, so I'm excited about today. You know, the most important thing is we just go out there and don't take any chances and run as hard as the car will let us, and have good pit stops and keep track of those points.
Well, the Busch Series record for wins in one season on a super speedway is 5. Chad shares that with Mark Martin, who'll try and break it here today. Meanwhile, let's go to the most recent winner in the Busch Series, and he is with John Kernan.
You know, Bill, a couple of weeks ago at Indianapolis Raceway Park when Jason Keller won his first career Busch Grand National race, he was sort of speechless. But, Jason, you've had a couple of weeks to think about it. How big was that win?
I tell you, it was huge for myself and the race team. You know, they've given me good cars all year long, and I was finally able to get them in victory lane like they deserve, and Steve and all the guys have really done great with this Chevrolet Monte Carlo. And my wife and I are expecting our first child, too. We found out yesterday, so, you know, it's just been a great 2 weeks. I wish I could bottle up some of that and take it out on a rainy day.
Well, he has certainly carried some of that momentum with him here to Michigan. He qualified third. That is best among the Busch Series regulars.
ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, welcomes you live to the picturesque Irish Hills of Michigan, side of the beautifully manicured Michigan International Speedway, and scene of today's NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Detroit Gasket 200. It is a beautiful day here in central Michigan. Temperatures 82 degrees. It is 43% humidity, sunny skies, absolutely no chance of rain whatsoever. After 18 events, here are the point standings. We told you they were tight. The points extremely tight. Johnny Benson, a scant 7-point lead over Chad Little. Mike McLaughlin back in third. Jason Keller, the winner 2 weeks ago, in fourth. And Jeff Green rounding out the top 5. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, and welcome to Michigan. You know, the Busch cars have a very brief history here at this 2-mile oval. In fact, they've only been racing here 3 years. But if you look at the names that have won the events, you realize very quickly that aside from speed, experience is the key ingredient. 3 years ago, Todd Bodine was the winner. Then Mark Martin, then Bobby Labonte. Hey, and look at the front row today. Dale Jarrett and Mark Martin. That string of experienced drivers could continue. Now, ordinarily in qualifying, that means the fastest cars are toward the front of the field. But that may not be the case here today. With more, here's Ned Jarrett and Benny Parsons.
Well, Jerry, the first round qualifying was scheduled for Thursday afternoon here at the Michigan International Speedway, but after 12 cars had taken times, the qualifying was interrupted by rain. They had to postpone it until Friday morning. Temperatures were much cooler. The track was faster. Jeff Green was the fastest of those 12 here on Thursday afternoon, but 9 cars beat him yesterday morning, and so Benny, that means we got some fast cars scattered through the field.
Isn't that fantastic? We're going to see a great race with fast cars all the way from the front to the very back. Chad Little's way in the back. So is Kenny Wallace. Larry Pearson's way back there on a racetrack that's newly repaved, and the groove is starting to widen. We're going to see side-by-side race. It'll take all we can do and our cameraman to keep up with the action today.
And the field begins to roll, gentlemen. 42 cars, 21 rows set for 200 miles, 100 laps here on the 2-mile Michigan International Speedway. Back in a moment. Our Speed World coverage of the Detroit Gasket 200 is being brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki motorcycle and ATV dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. By Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life. And by Allied Filters, Singles Fram Filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later. Take a look at our Suzuki starting positions. 42 cars will start. Take a look at the top 15. Dale Jarrett, his 13th career pole, but his first ever on a super speedway. He takes the Mack Tools Ford to the point of the field. Mark Martin, a winner here a year ago, 2 years ago in this event. Starts outside our front row. That's the top 15. Take a look at 16 through 30. Hermie Sadler back in 16th starting spot. And watch for Jeff Purvis, guys, back in 30th spot to make a run early on.
His car was very strong in practice, and we see where Chad Little is starting way back in the field there in 32nd position.
And a two-time winner, Larry Pearson. Two-time winner Larry Pearson is starting back in 37th.
Field 42 strong behind the safety car. Carl Simmons getting ready to drop the flag. The purse here, $276,546, 200 miles, 100 laps. In-car cameras riding along with Hermie Sadler, who starts back in 16th spot. Jeff Green driving for Dale and Teresa Earnhardt. He will start 10th. And Mark Martin outside the front row, the Winn-Dixie Ford Thunderbird, as the pace car moves away, and they are side by side, 2 by 2, coming to the green.
Coming down for a good slow start. The green flag waves, and off they go.
I think it's fantastic that the grid is widened up to 2 lanes so we can see some serious side-by-side racing today. And there we see McLaughlin hung on the inside in the French's car.
They are single file through the first 8 or 9 spots. McLaughlin double file, but they are 3 wide back, and Ricky Craven's car number 2 right in the middle of that sandwich.
Boy, that was a bold move to make on the first lap of this race, but he got through okay, so Jeff Fuller backed off up on the outside into car number 47.
Field now scampering down in turns 1 and 2. Craven made the move work and pulled in behind the car number 3 of Jeff Green. Dale Jarrett is our leader in the Mack Tools Ford Thunderbird, single file up front. Mark Martin in second spot, and the 57 car, the IRP winner, Jason Keller in third.
And 3 more wide, Benny.
Here we go. They receive Kenny Wallace on the outside, the Red Dog car. And still, we've seen 2 good grooves of racing. Is that the Bonnet car, David Bonnet, on the outside, the black car?
Car 03.
Rodney Combs on the inside, the STP, or looking the blue color of Petty Enterprises.
That was the Patty Maurice car, the Dial Pyrex machine there. Doug Taylor on the machine that was involved in that sandwich a moment ago.
There goes Chad Little. How many points? 7 points out of the lead, trying to get to the front on the outside.
When we were here in June, the track had just been repaved. Ran the ARCA cars on Saturday, the Winston Cup, of course, on Sunday. And it was basically a one-groove racetrack then. But now, a good bit of racing since then. The Indy cars were here, the Outlaw cars were here. And it seems that the groove is, you see them running side by side. So 2-groove racetrack, at least. And free.
Larry Pearson, as I said, 2-time winner this year. Started near the back and is going towards the front. That's Rodney Combs, who's on the inside of. And meanwhile, David, that's Randy Port on the 18 car, the Universe car that just drove by. Combs on the outside.
If your car is really working good here, Benny, sometimes the inside groove is not the place to be here because it'll sort of bind the car up in there.
If you get on the outside, you can keep that momentum going. Chad Little trying to take another spot. That's David Green right behind him.
Well, he's trying it on that inside, making it work. So just what I said, throw out the window, folks. Sometimes we don't know what we're talking about.
Watch this scramble, 9th and 10th. That is Perry Labonte in car number 14 down on the inside track apron, and they are 3 wide here across the start-finish line. Labonte is there. He's the 14 car. Ricky Craven in the car number 2. As they now fall back in single file.
Boy, this is the type of racing we used to see here at the Michigan International Speedway. See them 3 and 4 abreast down this front. Tri-Oval here. Just great racing. The single out when you get on the backstretch, for some of them do at least. Terry Labonte did. But there's still some side-by-side racing heading into turn 3.
Steve Grisham in the channel lock car, the blue number 29. And there's Craven, the 2-car. Craven, an infrequent runner this year on the Busch Grand National, and here he is in Michigan in the DuPont car. Labonte trying to get by McLaughlin to go to the front. And look at Schrader, who started way back there, is already up near the 10th place.
And that's that pack in the back. Now, there are the leaders left side of your screen. That is Dale Jarrett and Mark Martin. This pair of Ford Thunderbirds trying to hook up and pull away. They have put about a 10 or 12 car length separation between themselves and the third place car, but tight traffic.
Jeff Green, the GM Goodwrench car owned by Dale and Teresa Earnhardt, trying to get by. There's, wow, look at this. Talk about 2 by side, 2, 3 abreast. Now, come on, Jeff. Easy.
Now, look at Ricky Craven pull up there, and he's going to push a Grissom right on by on the outside. Look at it. The momentum they had, we talked about there a moment ago, and the draft definitely works here at the Michigan International Speedway.
Bill Parsons followed Jeff Green, trying to get to the front. Now, Jeff's got to squeeze up. Is there a car on the outside? I hope not.
Not going to be any room up there.
At his 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th spot, you see Craven, Jeff Fuller, Morgan Shepherd up there. There's Jeff Green, the car number 3. Shepherd's a 21 car, the Cheerwine Ford, as they pass on the inside of the DeWalt car. You're watching now from Hermie Sadler's roof cam, and that, of course, is Jeff Green in the Goodwrench Chevrolet, who just passed Hermie for position.
Hermie's trying to get by Green. There we see Bill Parsons moved up on the outside. He is trying to go by Green on the outside. Man, oh man.
Bill Parsons is going good, Benny. He's started in 18th position and has now moved up. Well, the last lap is being shown there, but he has moved up several positions as we see him racing that big pack of cars.
Good guys are trying to get by Hermie Sadler on the inside. He and Jeff Green can hook up.
They have to have a little bit of drafting help to make those runs on this racetrack, because the drafting does come into play. And there's Craven making a move down on the inside this time of Steve Grissom in the channel lock car number 29. And there you see the 3 car of Jeff Green sort of hung out down there by himself. He couldn't get up to where Craven was, and he lost about 4 or 5 positions.
Now he is side by side talking about the 3 car of Jeff Green with Hermie Sadler, the rookie of the year from 1993. Whoa, almost a little bit of contact there. Sadler gets a bit of a nudge from behind on by Jeff Green, and now Phil Parsons had to back out. He falls back in single file.
Phil didn't know which way to go there. For a moment, he looked high, then came down low and said, I better just stay behind him.
And this is hot racing all over this 2-mile oval here at Michigan International Speedway. Back in the pack, and as you see those cars moving up front, just sort of sailing along. Dale Jarrett in the Mack Tools Ford Thunderbird, about a car length back is Mark Martin's Winn-Dixie Ford. So a pair of Fords up front. As in the early laps here at Michigan, we have live Busch competition. Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're watching Winn-Dixie. Okay.
He's trying to check out.
And Mike Wallace is taking 3rd from, and Randy LaJoy having a good run in 5th.
Hope you got that camera running now. More than about that to go.
Johnny Benson here winning that second pack. He'll be up there with him in just a moment. He's got a pass for 4th. Back at Michigan International Speedway, Brooklyn, Michigan, live Busch Grand National Series action. The Detroit Gasket 200. Dale Jarrett, our pole sitter, has led since the drop of the green flag. We are currently showing 12 laps completed, but that's the view from behind. Mark Martin running in second spot in the Winn-Dixie Ford.
Ned, Dale went to Milwaukee. Is this the same car he used in Milwaukee to win the race?
I think it is, Benny. I'm not sure. I know it's the same engine, and he had a strong engine up there. Robert Yates built engine.
Let's check in the pits with John Kernan. John, how about it?
Well, this is not the car that they ran at Milwaukee, but you mentioned that engine from Robert Yates, that really good engine. This is that same engine that they won at Milwaukee. In fact, his crew chief, John Irvin, told me today this is the best car they've had all year long. And they've run this car a couple other times earlier this year, but they made a change. They changed to Penske shocks, and that seemed to make all the difference in the world.
Well, I don't know what they changed to, but it certainly is working, because we've all seen the last couple of years that Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie car that always runs very well, and right now he barely can catch Dale Jarrett.
Single file back in the pack. That's about 11th, 12th, 13th spot. Mike McLaughlin back there in the 34 car. There's Jeff Green. Ricky Craven back in the DuPont car. Chevrolet number 2. In front of him is the car number 20. That's Jimmy Spencer, driving for Dick Moroso in the FINA-sponsored Ford. Now, the car number 90 has made a move. As you watch the battle there, that's a change of position. Johnny Benson now going by Jason Keller, and that would be for 4th position, or make that 5th position. In front of them are the 3rd and 4th place cars. The 90 car left side of your screen is Mike Wallace, who, by the way, also has a Robert Yates engine in that car. And Randy LaJoy driving for Dennis Shoemaker, the Duraloop Chevrolet. Good run for LaJoy.
A great run for it. And you wonder, why would Robert Yates go to all this trouble to build the engines for the Busch Grand National? Because they're 9.5 to 1 compression. He needs to get all the experience he can, particularly at racetracks like this, with a lesser compression V8 engine.
If you're asking how does he have time, then it actually isn't Robert Yates, it's a guy by the name of John Callis who built those motors.
Yep, and here comes a Roush motor about to take a measure of the Robert Yates engine as Mark tries to move in on Jarrett.
Going in turn 3, this is down the back straightaway. Here's the in-car camera shot as Dale Jarrett backs off wisely. Lets Mark Martin go in the corner now. They'll hook up with Martin in front and see if they can continue driving away from the rest of the field.
And you mentioned why would Robert Yates want to do this? In case NASCAR would go to it, there has been talk about going to this type engine for the NASCAR Winston Cup cars. In fact, everybody thought they would do it in '96, but I think that has been put on hold, but it still is a possibility somewhere in the future.
The view out of the back of the Winn-Dixie Ford Thunderbird of Mark Martin. That's the twosome right there that has just sort of tangoed away from the 3rd and 4th place cars. They are almost a complete straightaway ahead of the 3rd place car of Mike Wallace.
And something is wrong with Hermie Sadler's DeWalt car. I don't hear it doesn't sound like the engine would be missing.
Got another pack coming, Hermie.
Spotter telling that there's another pack of cars coming up behind him. He should be aware, but the pack of cars that Hermie was racing with, we can see that Rodney Cohn just drives by.
Yeah, apparently something has happened in the engine of his Chevrolet.
Hermie not having such a great year. Doesn't have a win, has a 2nd place finish at Hickory early in the year for Johnny Benson, but you see the car obviously not at the speed, and the speculation is he may have lost a cylinder, maybe on 8 or 7 cylinders, and that 9.5 to 1 compression V8. How about it, Kyle Petty? What's the problem with the one car?
That's exactly right. You guys have already nailed it. Hermie's lost a cylinder. He's just out there. They're going to try and get as many points as they can, just like you do in Winston Cup, just like you do in Busch. That's what racing's all about, guys.
Well, Hermie just proposed to his longtime.
Got another on the outside there.
As the spotter tells him he's got a car on the outside of him. So looking to get married here sometime in the next 6 months or so.
Saw Rick Wilson in the 75 car, the Food Country car, down on the apron of the racetrack. Obviously very slow, like he has a problem. There's Chad Little, the Bear Select car. We said that he would be going towards the front, and he's now where, Ned? Chad Little. 22nd, I see, yeah.
He started back in 32nd spot, has gained 10 spots in, 18 laps. So slowly but surely making his way toward the front. And Chad, remember back in Daytona, the season opener, he started 42nd and won that race. That's a pretty good run from the back of the pack at Daytona. He also started 27th at Milwaukee and Dover, so he hasn't had that great of qualifying efforts on some of the speedways, but he's managed top 10 finishes in all 3 of those events.
There's the group cars. That's Elton Sawyer, Morgan Shepherd, and Phil Parsons directly in front of Chad Little.
And Jeff Green trying to find a way. He'll make it 3 wide beneath Mike McLaughlin down on the inside, and Jimmy Spencer's car number 20 on the outside, and Spencer will stay with him door to door. What a surprise, huh?
Yeah, McLaughlin thought better of that, going in there in the middle and backed off, which I think was very smart.
Jimmy Spencer not going to back off. He hangs with him door to door out of turn 4, and now Green takes it all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack.
But these guys are hooked up on the outside, and we can see here comes Spencer, McLaughlin, and Tracy Leslie back on the outside.
So Green's going to have to try to do it all over again. He thought he had him passed, but they hooked up in the draft and went right on back by.
That is 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. That group you're watching there with the car number 34 in 10th position. You're riding along with Jeff Green, who is 11th. In front of them is Jimmy Spencer's car number 20, the Dick LaRosso car. He is the 9th place car.
As they come off turn 4, you watch Spencer etched in turn 4. We'll show you the distance between Spencer and the leader of the race. And we can see that they're almost a third of a lap behind our leader, Mark Martin.
So Mark Martin leading here after 21 laps of 100, which comprise the Detroit Gasket 200. It is Martin, Jarrett, Wallace, LaJoy, and our point leader, Johnny Benson.
Ned, these cars run the same spoiler. Fords and Chevrolets run the same spoiler. Is that true?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Is that right, Bill Weber or John?
Hello.
These cars run the same spoilers, Fords and Chevrolets?
I believe so. I'll try and confirm that for you.
Find out. We need to find that out.
Yeah, I know they invoked the 65-degree rule.
I've got the story on Tracy Leslie, what his problem is.
Yeah, Dale's not getting off turn 2 over there too good.
Back at Michigan, and Dale Jarrett just flexed the muscle in that Robert Yates motor and just shot by Mark Martin down the backstretch. And Martin now really has the car handling pretty well in the turns, though.
Yeah, Mark seems to be getting off the turns a little bit better than Jarrett is. But boy, when you get halfway down that straightaway, look at him as he comes off of turn 2, Jarrett, down on the inside. Got off that turn pretty good that time, but they'll run side by side about halfway down the backstretch, and then all of a sudden that thing just takes off, and he shoots right on by Mark Martin. Now, Dale told me this morning that they put a little bit higher gear in it. They did some testing with the Robert Yates number 28 this morning, and they found that the higher gear was working pretty well for them, and so at the last half of the straightaway is when it seems to really go. But more on that, let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, Ned, I just talked to his crew chief, John Irvin. He says everything's going well with the car. One thing to keep in mind here, his driver is not feeling very well. Dale Jarrett has a touch of the flu. In fact, I believe it's making the rounds in the Jarrett family. So with this heat, it's something to keep your eye on today, but you're always feeling a lot better when you're running up front.
Yeah, that race car can be pretty good medicine, especially if you're running up front. Yeah, Dale was feeling a little bit bad last night, and I asked him this morning how he was feeling, and he said, I'll get through the day okay.
There go the leaders by Hermie Sandler and Benny. It looked like about halfway down the backstretch that Dale Jarrett hit the afterburners and just shot by Mark Martin.
That's certainly the way it looked. I would guess that Mark Martin, realizing they were side by side, decided to ease off the throttle a little bit and give Dale Jarrett the preferred line. They don't need to race side by side right now because they have a tremendous lead on the third place car. And right now they need to run nose to tail, not side by side.
Good point.
Two cars very evenly matched, and there they are. Mac Tools and Winn-Dixie on the hoods of those two Ford Thunderbirds. Robert Yates' motor in the 32 car, and Jack Roush's motor in the car number 60. Jarrett and Martin, two Winston Cup veterans, showing, like we told you at the top of the show, experience critical here at this 2-mile speedway.
And the experience doesn't come only in the driving part either, Jerry. It's setting that race car up, knowing how you want that race car to feel after you have run those tires for 25 or 30 laps.
Speaking of experience, how about a driver that's made a move from starting back in the pack? We're talking about Ward Burton, who started back in 24th position and currently being shown somewhere in the top 15. In fact, 15th in the Caterpillar-sponsored car for Bud McCall.
And not far behind him is the car number 4 of Jeff Purvis. He, too, has made a good run up through the field, currently being shown in 16th position from his 30th position. There he is.
I bet you watch Purvis at this run ARCA races here. Excuse me, you watch Purvis run the ARCA races, that he knows this racetrack.
Jeff Purvis runs a very, very nice lap. We can see him going to the corner. Right now, he's just a victim of the other cars. He has to kind of follow wherever they run. That's where he needs to go.
Purvis being shown in 16th spot. He's won the ARCA event here in June for 3 consecutive years, 3 in a row. The 3-peat in ARCA competition. He's behind that draft involving Ward Burton, Kenny Schrader, and of course the 4-car Purvis. They are 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Car number 47. Jeff being shown in the 13th position there.
1992 NASCAR Modified Champion, currently 10th in the point standings. He's the leading rookie contender as he and Curtis Markham wage a war for Rookie of the Year honors. Kevin's Rookie of the Year honor in NASCAR Busch competition.
You see Jeff Green still trying to get to the front. He goes by Johnny Benson and closes up on the back bumper of Mike McLaughlin. That's McLaughlin in the yellow and blue car, the French's car. Then Jeff Green, and we see Ricky Craven diving to the inside, trying to get by Jason Keller.
Now, while you're watching this battle back in the pack, the leaders continuing to move away. Take a look at the interval leaderboard, and guys, Jarrett and Martin are saying, see you.
Well, they hooked up in a draft up there, and really, they've only traded the lead twice. Martin went in front for a while, and then Jarrett got back by, and doing a good job of drafting, and that way they can pull away.
There's Elton Sawyer, the Ford grade car, number 38, racing with Chad Little, the Bear Select. And that is for 20th spot. And there we see Morgan Shepherd, the Cheerwine. No, that's not. That's the Dino Digger in 19th spot. That's a Christmas tree digger. A guy sent me a hat the other day. Said that.
Yeah, that's the biggest hat I've ever seen.
Now, Chad Little was in 21st spot a moment ago, but he was about 10 car lengths back. Now he has caught this pack. That's why he hasn't clicked off any more spots. So he has 3 cars directly in front of him. He wants to try to get by those after starting way back in 32nd position.
Morgan tried to take a look on the inside of Grissom as we see the Markham car, the Lysol car on the inside. Curtis Markham going to lap down to this group.
And now's the time when you can tell whether your chassis is really working or not. Those tires have been on the floor for 31, 32 laps now. And when the tires get heated up, that's when the true chassis comes out.
Here's a battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. That's the 3 cars. Jimmy Spencer, the car number 20, is in 6th spot. The 34 car, Mike McLaughlin, is 7th. And Jeff Green, GM Goodrich car of Teresa Earnhardt, that is in 8th position. And Green thought about making a move, and so did McLaughlin. But the draft here, got to stay up there, I guess, get some momentum. Speaking of Jeff Green, let's check in with John Kearney.
Jerry, I just talked to his crew chief, Tony Urey. We're expecting pit stops probably in 15 to 16 laps, side by side with McLaughlin out there on the racetrack. But Jeff, the only thing he's complaining about is you see him come down to the line just trying to get that spot. He might have had him just by an edge, but now McLaughlin nose back out in front. The only thing that Jeff has said on the radio to Tony is the car is just a little bit loose. So we would look for them to make an air pressure adjustment on the very first pit stop, which should be coming up in 15 to 16 laps.
So that means they might be planning on running about 50 laps before they make a pit stop here at the 2-mile Michigan International Speedway. There we see Tracy Leslie's falling back to the clutches of Morgan Shepherd and Steve Grissom. Elton Sawyer.
That's 17th, 18th, and 19th as Leslie continues to slow down. What's the problem, John Kernan?
Well, I told you about Jeff Green was a little bit loose. Tracy Leslie apparently a lot loose. I was talking to his crew chief, Lee Leslie, his brother, just a few minutes ago. He said, we're not panicking yet. We'll make it a tire pressure adjustment and maybe a little wedge on the first pit stop. But the car continuously is getting looser and looser. So they're one of the teams that, well, you might say they missed the setup today.
Heavy traffic right in front of Dale Jarrett, goes down to the inside and makes a move inside of the Porter car. And now heavy traffic as Jarrett and Martin trying to snake their way through. That's beneath the David Green car, the reigning national champion. And they, boy.
Man, that was close. And Ned, that's exactly what you were talking about just a few minutes ago. 35 laps into the run, these tires are starting to get worn, and the chassis is really coming out right now. And some fellas, not these two, not Dale Jarrett nor Mark Martin, but some of them having a handful right now.
Well, I've got to give a call to John Irvin and Dale Jarrett's car. Dale Jarrett's crew chief driving awfully well, even in heavy traffic. Some 34 laps into it. It's Jarrett, Martin, Wallace, LaJoie, and Labonte. Back in a moment.
I said he was on the apron slow, looked like he had an engine problem, but I didn't establish the fact that he was out of the race. No.
yeah, I did. I held my breath for a minute. Mark Strong coming off those turns. They did not getting off the turns.
Back at Michigan International Speedway, we have a lead change. Martin pulling away somewhat from Dale Jarrett, and here's how it happened just a moment ago.
These cars were coming into the third corner. There, see Dale Jarrett going by Kenny Wallace on the inside, and Martin goes by on the outside. Now this is turn 3 as they enter. Jarrett goes up the hill, and Martin just turns under the 32 car, passes him as they approach the David Bonney car.
And Jason Keller into the pits. Jason, let's go to the pits of Bill Weber.
Jason Keller hasn't been happy with his car since the drop of the green flag. It was tight. He couldn't get it to work in the turns. It started skating up the track. They were going to try and go to lap 50, but they couldn't get it done. He was going to get lapped on the track. Right side tires and fuel. He's away.
And the winner 2 weeks ago at Indianapolis Raceway Park, the Budget Gourmet Chevrolet, gives away a top 11 or top 10 position to come in and get some fresh rubber and get the car adjusted. Now, one of the cars that had trouble early on was carrying one of our in-car cameras. Unfortunately, he is now behind the wall with Kyle Petty.
Well, I'm sitting here with Hermie. Hermie, you've had a year about like I have. It's been up and down and a lot of downtime. What seemed to happen up there this time?
Yeah, kind of a shame. You know, these guys work hard on Mr. Walt Chevy. But we got off to a pretty good start, and then I think I must have dropped the valve or broke something in the engine. It dropped way down on RPMs, and we want to ride around some. Hopefully we get a caution, but we just didn't. And if we keep riding around, we're going to get somebody to wait for us over. But we're going to try to fix it if we can. If we can find something else broke and try to get it there and get as many points as we can.
Well, let me tell you something. When things go bad, they go bad. And I got this infrared heat gun in my hand right here. It's 133 degrees inside here where Hermie's sitting right now trying to relax.
Needless to say, he's not relaxing in 132-degree heat. I tell you what, these guys are not relaxing either, are they, Ned?
They're having fun out there. I guarantee you they're having the time of their life out there.
Folks, this is about as good as it gets when you have two equally prepared cars and you can pass and you trust the other driver. Right now, Mark Martin feels like that Dale Jarrett is not going to get him in a bad position, and Dale Jarrett thinks exactly the same thing, and you're right, Ned. They are having a ball as they go by Kevin LePage and wave to the teddy bear and say, see ya.
Kevin LePage running in the 25th position, so they've left almost half of the field.
Great racing at Michigan International Speedway, as Ned Jarrett said earlier. This is the kind of racing we used to see years ago here, 2 and 3 wide and swapping the lead back and forth. And just a preview of what you're going to see this weekend. We got Winston Cup coming tomorrow live. As you watch Dale Jarrett now slide up behind Rodney Combs. Mark Martin still behind him. He will take his time getting around Johnny Rumbley. Speaking to the 60 car, let's check in his pits with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, while most of the drivers are radioing to their crews and tell them, hey, my car is a little bit loose, it's a lot loose. About the only thing Mark Martin has told Bobby Leslie and the crew here is, boy, that 32 car is strong.
Yes, he is, Mark. There's no doubt about it. As he tries to close up on the back of Johnny Rumley. That's Rumley. Ooh, and Mark gets a little high there, about missed the corner. And there's Kevin LePage coming in the pits in the 71 car. Rich Bickle goes by, the Kleenex car, and it looks like Rich Bickle is going to lap down to Dale Jarrett. Yes, he is, down in turn 1. That's Bickle, the blue 54, and Jarrett closing up on the inside.
Kleenex car, number 54, Bickle.
Boy, Jarrett just decimating this field. Bickle was the pole sitter back in Charlotte in Busch competition. Awfully strong race car, very talented driver, but Jarrett blows by him down the backstretch in that Robert Yates power plant. Mac Tools, Ford Thunderbird. Record pace. What a surprise to what Jarrett's been doing in the early laps here. Somewhat of a preview of what could be a record-setting weekend at Michigan International Speedway. Dale Jarrett showing the way, picking up his first ever Super Speedway pole in Busch competition. 13th pole of the year. And here is Jeff Fuller, who seems to be off the pace.
Well, it's hard to tell just how slow he is running. We'll have to see another car as he catches a car or as a car goes by. But it looks like he is down from the outside retaining wall.
Being shown in the 20th position, still in the lead lap.
Had a good qualifying run, started up in 12th spot. As Chad Little now makes the move by him. Clip one more off for Chad Little and put him up in 20th position.
Chad moved up to the 21st position pretty quickly, but he sort of settled in that position there for a good while, but now picks up one more position. But here's Dale Jarrett coming up on both of those cars, not too far behind, to put them a lap down.
Well, we are told that pit stops are going to take place in about 5, 6, maybe 7 laps, which will be right at the halfway point, lap 50 of 100. So we'll take a quick break and come back and catch what may be green flag pit stops here at Michigan. Stay with us.
That thing is stout.
My goodness, if that 28 car runs like this one does tomorrow, I think I've seen a car just pull up. Mark may have backed out of it, but boy, he just went shooting by him. My heavens.
He's got some motor.
Hey, Jerry. Yeah, Mark has backed off. He wants to try to make it to lap 50.
Okay.
The 3 car, they want to go to lap 50. The 64, they want to do the lap 50. Now, John Irvin, who told me earlier this morning, they
John.
yeah.
The spoilers are the same on the Fords and Chevrolets, right?
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
John Irvin had changed to a higher gear today to try and save gas mileage. He said they had a lot of power, but it just ate up a lot of gas, and he was worried that he'd be 2 laps short of 50.
Thanks, Sean.
But now they're getting ready for Mark.
Okay.
Chad Little's a lap down.
Hot and heavy action coming your way tonight. NFL preseason. Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs coming your way from Arrowhead Stadium. Jim Kelly and the Bills going to take on the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Mike Patrick and Joe Thompson will be on hand to make the call. 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight. Live NFL preseason action right here on ESPN. Leading rookie contender here is Jeff Fuller, who was 10th in the overall point standings. We saw him slowing down a moment ago. Now he is on pit road, and they are taking a look beneath the hood. Does not look good for Jeff Fuller. There are the rookie points.
He has already gone a couple of laps down, Jerry, so you're right. It doesn't look too good for him. Let's see if he's going to, yeah, it looks like he's going to go back out and make as many laps as he can.
Here we see Dale Jarrett, the Mac Tools car, the leader of the race, coming off the corner. And Mark Martin, we've seen him right behind that 32 car all day long. We don't see him. There he is, what, 30 car lengths behind Dale Jarrett. So either Dale Jarrett has found a different group to get around the racetrack, or Mark Martin has a problem as he goes by Greg Clark on the outside.
Well, I think when they got in traffic a little bit ago, Dale got through the traffic a little bit better than Mark did, opened up a little bit of a lead, and so it's been able to pull away since then.
That's the field summary as you see now. 18 cars on the lead lap, and yes, Chad Little has been lapped by Dale Jarrett. Little now being shown one lap down in 19th spot. As you look to see where your favorite drivers are, 31 through 42 back in the field. The only car being shown officially out of the race right now was the Rick Wilson car, number 75, owned by Charlie Henderson.
Halfway. Next time by, we'll be seeing the 32 car get the halfway signal. Kyle Petty has an update from the pits.
The 47 car of Jeff Fuller, he thinks they've broken a valve spring. They thought that a plug wire had come off. They come in, checked everything. They did the old trick, laid a screwdriver on there. They feel like it's a valve spring. I heard you guys talking during the break, man. Let me just tell you. Go ahead and tell me if that 28 car is going to run this fast tomorrow. As hot as it is, I'm just going to get on a plane and go home tonight.
Well, I don't know, Kyle. They're changing engines in the Robert Yates Haviland Ford. Ford tomorrow said the one that he was practicing in was better than, the one that he's putting in was better than the practice engine. So I don't know if we see Larry Pearson coming into the pits in the Stanley Tool Chevrolet. A lot of cars now making pit stops.
Mark Martin also second place car right at the start-finish line coming into the pits.
And the third place car of Mike Wallace on pit road as pit stops now happening just at the halfway point. They wanted to make it to lap 50. And here is the pit man camera, Christian Lovendall, who is the nephew of Mark Martin, the driver, wearing the crew cam, the pit man cam. He cleans the debris off the front grille and dances around to the other side of the wall.
And we see the 4 tires going on the left front. Steve Meal, those on that left front. John Kernan.
Also a chassis adjustment around about the left rears. Mark Martin is down and away he goes. The car has gotten just a little bit loose, 24.2, as Dale Jarrett is headed down pit road, down to Bill Weber.
And Dale Jarrett pulls the Mac Tools car onto pit road and go to the right side. They must be very careful to get all the fuel in because, as John Kernan mentioned, John Irvin isn't certain this car could go 50 laps. They've got the right side tires on. This is going to be 4 tires. They weren't sure just 2 laps ago, but it's a 4-tire change. They'll get all the fuel in them this time. The right rear is on. The left sides are on. Waiting to pull out the track, and there goes Dale Jarrett. Mike McLaughlin is on pit road, and Kyle is there.
Mike McLaughlin just came in. They're going to change 4 tires. Before he came in, Kenny Schrader just changed 2 tires. He was in and out quick. The only thing McLaughlin asked for was a bag of ice to stick down his uniform. He's got a rib that he fractured at Talladega that's trying to heal. And it's hot out there, too. He's wanting to stay cool, guys.
We can see a good pit stop by McLaughlin's crew, 23.2. Mark Martin, the second place car, we saw his at a little over 24 seconds.
Now, Chad Little came in and only took on 2 tires. You got to believe maybe that possibly he's trying to gain some track position, even though he's a lap down.
I would say that's the case. We see Steve Grissom taking his car to the garage area at the channel block forward. There's Chad Little getting his speed back up.
The Bayer Harris Teeter sponsored machine. Mike Wallace also only took on 2 tires, and Wallace is running in 3rd spot. Barry Owen and crew decided to only put 2 right side tires on his Holly Myers Ford Thunderbird. During those pit stops, the car number 29 pulled back behind the wall, apparently calling it a day.
Steve Grissom there, we see him sitting in the garage area.
Cadillac Chevrolet Monte Carlo, former series champion 1993. That's the man they're chasing right now, the Mac Tools Ford Thunderbird, Dale Jarrett, returning to probably where he has maybe his most memorable victory, at least got to be one of the top members right up there with the Daytona 500 win, winning this race, Winston Cup race in August of 1991. And boy, what a day that was for Dale Jarrett.
Well, it was a special day. Anytime you win your first NASCAR Winston Cup race, it's a very special day. And of course, he and Davey Allison had that side-by-side battle right down to the wire, beating Davey by about 6 or 8 inches. So it was a very memorable day. Not only it was his first victory, but the way that he did it also. Now, guys, in this after this round of pit stops, Mike Wallace, as a result of taking on 2 tires, came out in 2nd place. Mark Martin is in 3rd place right now, but Mike Wallace is probably about 3 or 4 seconds behind Dale Jarrett at the moment.
Dale Jarrett and the crew John Irvin and the crew must have had a tremendous pit stop.
They did, just a fraction over 22 seconds according to my watch, and I was trying to be honest with you. You know, Dad sometime will click that a little bit quicker, but I tried to be honest with it.
Well, there's Mike Wallace still looking for his first Busch win of the 1995 season. Won 3 back in 1994. His best finish this year, though, was 2nd at Dover in 11 events.
Several of the cars only changed 2 tires during that pit stop. I told Jeff Green, and I know Phil Parsons also only changed 2 tires right side when he made that pit stop. That's Phil on the white car on the very right of the screen.
And certainly that'll help you as far as track position is concerned. Don't know what it might do for you after you run a while and to see if it slows down that much. But in talking to the Winston Cup drivers that ran a lot of laps this morning on during a practice run, they said that the tires didn't go away that much here. So I know they were running 50 and 60 laps on them and said they were still holding their speed pretty good. So it might be a good strategy here to just take on the right side tires and get that track position.
Here's the car number 3 running in 7th spot. Teresa Earnhardt on the machine. Goodrich Chevrolet. Monte Carlo. Jeff Green looking for his first win in 1995. Has a pole at Myrtle Beach, but still waiting to go to victory lane. Earlier today in one of our shows, NASCAR Today, Dale Earnhardt told us on that show this guy's going to win the race and he's going to win tomorrow. It's a pretty good prediction by the Intimidator, but right now his driver, Jeff Green, in 7th position, moving by the lap car of Chad Little. Jarrett, Wallace, Martin, Combs, and Labonte in the top 5.
They're discussing it right now. The NASCAR official says that on the right front tire, they only got 4 lug nuts on. So, you know, they say they're missing a lug nut. They're arguing about it right now about how many lug nuts they actually did get on.
If they black flag people for 4 lug nuts, they'd bring half the field in on Sunday, huh?
Well, they're talking about it right now.
Is that right, Kyle?
I'm surprised nobody got...
They might be winning their argument, but they are discussing it.
Yeah.
Going to have a race for a second here before too long. Dale's pulling away from Mike Wallace, but...
Okay. All right. Looking all right so far?
Yeah.
Ned? Yeah. All right so far?
Yeah. Hey, Chevy, when's the track back come up? I said, when are we doing the track back, Chevy?
Back at Michigan International Speedway, live Busch Grand National Series action. Detroit Gasket 200 underway, just past the halfway point. Here's the battle for 2nd spot. The car number 9 is Ron Howard Myers Ford. It's Mike Wallace in 2nd position. Remember, he only changed 2 tires. And here is Martin trying to make a move to the inside. Martin in 3rd spot.
And not far behind them is Terry Labonte, who is being shown in the 4th position. Mark couldn't quite make the pass on Mike Wallace. Here comes Martin. He's got to run this time coming off the turn. Gets on the inside, but they're coming up on the 7 car, and he moves down out of the way, so he'll just let them race for it.
And we can see that the 4 tires, just how important it is to get that good rubber on the car, because Mark Martin, when he gets to the corner, is faster than Mike Wallace. We'll watch as he goes to the corner. And Mike Wallace wisely backs off and lets Mark Martin go. And we can see that, and there we see Morgan Shepherd and Jeff Purvis as they race side by side, and that is for the 14th spot. Morgan is in 14th and Purvis 15th.
And right there's Tim Fedewa, who has the Myers Department Stores sponsorship here this week with Racecam's one of their regular associate sponsors on that car. And Tim is running in the 16th position, the last car in the lead lap.
40 laps to go. 100 make up this 200-mile event. 100 laps on this 2-mile oval at Michigan International Speedway. Dale Jarrett being shown as our leader. He was the pole sitter. Not a track record in qualifying, but a little bit different tire than they had here back last year. In fact, the pole record set 2 years ago by Bill Elliott, over 175 miles per hour. There's the final call in the lead lap that Ned was talking about. The Meyer Race Scan Ford Thunderbird. Ray and Diane DeWitt owned car. Tim Fedewa. Fedewa getting his first Busch win up at Nazareth early this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of first-time winners in the Busch Series this year. What, 4 of them?
4 first-time winners. Chad Little, who has 6 career victories, all of them this year. Mike McLaughlin, 1 up at Dover. Timmy Tudor, who just mentioned at Nazareth. And Jason Keller at Indianapolis Raceway Park.
A lot of talent in this series.
Our AutoZone race recap. Take a look. Dale Jarrett is our leader. He's led 49 of 60 laps. There have been 4 lead changes. No cautions. We have gone caution-free. And the average speed, 168.304 miles per hour. That is indeed a record speed thus far. Lap leaders, Dale Jarrett, 46. Mark Martin, 11. And the only 2 that have been up front thus far and out of race. Mike mentioned the car number 75. Rick Wilson's been out. Hermie Sadler behind the wall. Steve Grissom, former series champion. And Ron Parker, who owns the car number 72 of Tracy Leslie, owns Detroit Gasket. His car apparently having a problem.
Well, these guys have been going at it, Benny. Jeff Purvis and Morgan Shepherd.
Almost get together as they come off that second corner.
I'll guarantee you if they didn't touch, they felt like they did, because when that air compresses together running at these speeds, it feels like that you hit the other car.
And we see it. Purvis just can't get in the corner, doesn't feel comfortable getting in the corner beside someone. He backs off and let Morgan Shepherd go. And guess what? There's Fedewa to take over that spot.
We mentioned Tracy Leslie just had to climb out of his car, and John Curtin has caught up with him.
Tracy, a good qualifying run, but the car started going backwards early on, and now you've had to park it. What's the problem?
Well, we had a little bit of a looseness with the Detroit Gasket Chevrolet, and you know, we had an awful good run. It's our best run here since Detroit Gasket sponsored the race. We were hoping maybe to put in victory for today. We were running a Winston Cup car there. Fortunately, unfortunately, we didn't make that show, but you know, that's one of the chances you take. You know, we didn't get a whole lot of practice concentrating on the Winston Cup and the Busch. Just wasn't our day.
So did something go wrong with the motor here to put you behind the wall?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Something broke. You know, it's nothing you can do about it. Man-made parts. Take that chance. There's 42 other motors. You know, don't know what they're going to do.
Well, Tracy Leslie is behind the wall, out of the race, expecting a good run today, Billy.
And he calls it a day, unfortunately, from this Detroit Gasket 200. Here's the interval leaderboard. Jarrett about 6.7 seconds ahead of Mark Martin.
What in the world is happening to Terry Labonte there? A moment ago, he was up on there. I believe that's a mistake. That might be 8.5 seconds instead of 18.5, because he's not far behind Mike Wallace, Terry Labonte, in the 4th position.
There's the leader, Mac Tools, Ford Thunderbird, Dale Jarrett. 1 win this year in Busch competition coming up at the Milwaukee Mile. Flat racetrack, 1 mile oval.
Had to start the rear of that field.
Man, I think that white car you see is Elton Saul.
Oh, okay. I beg your pardon. There's my mistake. Okay, there's the 2nd place car.
2nd place car, Mark Martin. There's 3rd place, Mike Wallace.
Now we're looking for Terry Labonte. That's the 3rd place car of Wallace, and we're going to see how far back Terry Labonte might be as they come off of turn 2.
As Benny pointed out, I was looking at that white car back there. I thought it was Labonte, and it's Elton Sawyer. Elton being shown now in the 17th position, a lap down. There's Terry Labonte. And so I said there was probably a mistake there. It was Ned's mistake, not these other people.
MW Wing's car started 13th, currently in 4th position. Carol Lavani, winner one time this year on the road course of Watkins Glen. 1-4 last year, led the series. In number of victories, Busch competition.
The next car is Jimmy Spencer, the Loop car, and there he comes, the blue car, right behind Johnny Rumley. Rumley's in the black car. Now to see Spencer trying to get by on the outside, can't do it. Now dive down to the inside and see if that will work. And will it?
Contact. Yeah, it did. Rumley backed off. He's still about to lose it. Now you got to straighten that out. Good job, Johnny Rumley, being shown in 18th position, 1 lap down, and did Mike Wallace have a problem? Mike Wallace headed for the pits. Bill Weber, what's wrong?
Broke a valve spring, Ned. Mike Wallace done for the day. These guys really discussed it. They could go the distance on fuel. It wasn't going to be a problem. Mike's coasting down pit road now, but the word is he broke a valve spring and will not be a factor as we head for the finish.
And we asked the question a moment ago, why would Robert Yates go to the trouble to build engines for these cars like Mike Wallace and the 32 car? To find out exactly the parts that are going to break in trying to build a lower compression engine. They found out today that the valve springs that they use might be a problem. And Dale Jarrett has to be wondering right now, will the valve springs that I've got make it the rest of the way?
Well, certainly they would be concerned. They probably are the same in both of those engines.
In fact, I was told by Mike Wallace that his engine is indeed being built by John Callis. John Callis built both that engine and, of course, the engine that's on pit road.
There's a broken valve spring. There's a spring on the bottom. We see it in pieces. That's the valve spring. What happens when the spring breaks, if you keep on running, then the valve, those are the things on the right, they break and cause the damage to the cylinder head. There's a good one on the left side, and there's what happens when they break.
And I tell you, those things take a beating in an engine, too. Let's go to the pits and Bill Weber.
And here is Mike Wallace, broken valve spring.
That's what they're saying. You know, it's a shame. The car was running great. Dale had us beat it, you know, a little bit, but it's a shame. The Duron Paints, Heiligmeyer's, Ford Thunderbird, Clouser Furniture car was great, and you know, we were running third. I think they were behind Mark and just didn't get to the end by unfortunate.
32 or 60 out there, Jarrett or Mark?
32 cars by far the quickest right now. You know, Mark's probably getting through the corner a little bit, but old Robert Yates motors are sure thundering down the straightaway, and Carl and the kids are at home and wish we could have had a good run for them today.
Okay, Mike Wallace comes back tomorrow. Dale Jarrett does have a Yates motor in there. They're right next door, and they're watching this development.
No, Carl and the kids are at my house with Terry watching the race today, and they were going to say something to Mike in Victory Lane. So, Carl, there's where you got to see Mike in the garage area with a broken valve spring. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's too bad that he didn't get there.
71 laps complete as you watch this battle here, the 74 and 34. That's 8th and 9th spot. There's Chad Little in the car number 23. He is being shown 1 lap down in 22nd spot. Riding along with Mark Martin on top of the Winn-Dixie Ford Thunderbird. He is in 2nd spot, still chasing the Ford of Dale Jarrett. Back with more in a moment.
Is that him coming off too, Ned?
Yeah. He just passed Schrader.
Just trying to move in on Purvis.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Look at this field. Oh, baby. Ward and Chad. And here comes Moise and Purvis and Dale.
Take it easy through there, DJ. That's just a wreck waiting to happen.
Somebody punted somebody. Just you switch the camera. Somebody got hit in the rear down there. Down in turn 1, just when you took that
pack you were following, the 4 and the 32.
It looked like 23 got booted in the back, maybe.
Yeah.
Or the 4 car, maybe it was the 4. One of those cars right in front of the leader. Yep, there we go. I guess it's the 23. Oh, the 4 and 4. Yeah.
Purvis had worked so hard to get by Schrader and Shepard. And then there they went back.
Do you need me to voice the billboard? Okay. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Since they have repaved the Michigan International Speedway, there's a lot of traction for these cars, a lot of grip, and that means what you're seeing right here in my hand, these are rubber shavings off the tires. Now, the problem this can cause, they get stuck into the grill and can cause overheating. So to help prevent that, what the teams do is take some silicone lubricant spray, and they spray it on the front of the grill. Now, this really doesn't keep the rubber from sticking onto the grill, but it makes it a lot easier to remove it. In fact, Mark Martin's nephew, Christian Lovendahl, and going over to carry the tire on the right front. As he does that, he just sweeps by with his hand, rubs the rubber completely off, and that was just a small bit of it.
Hey, John, last year you told me it was Pam. Now you're telling me it's silicone. Which is?
Hey, Benny.
What?
Remember, that was Mike Beam and Bill Elliott who used the cooking spray. Now, these other guys are a little more high-tech, but from what Mike Beam tells me, the cooking spray works the best. And as I showed you last year at Darlington, hey, you can also cook your lunch with it, too.
All right. Good battle here for 4th spot. Car number 64, Randy LaJoy, in the 20 car. That's a Dick Moroso machine of Jimmy Spencer. Now they have Kevin LePage between those two, the Vermont Teddy Bear Company. And a moment ago, while we were in break, a close call as the leader was working some lap traffic.
Now watch the 4 car down on the inside. There's Dale Jarrett coming up on him, and we're right here. Purvis shoots to keep from hitting, I guess, Chad Little there. Had to back off and shoot up the track. And Jeff had worked so hard to get around Morgan Shepherd and Ken Schrader, and there he lost it all in one turn.
That's the Kodak Fun Saver Chevrolet, James Finch-owned machine. And now the leader lapping some other cars. There's Jeff Fuller, leading Rookie of the Year candidate. 23 laps to go. He moves in on some others. There's Phil Parsons up in front of him. He's in 10th position.
And McLaughlin right in front of Phil. We see Ward Burton, the Caterpillar car, has gone a lap down.
Where's the second place car, Mark Martin? Let's find him. And Jarrett has moved away considerably.
You know, if we have that much trouble finding Mark Martin, that means Mark can't find Dale Jarrett either. And that's always the thing that you want to be able to find when you look out the windshield is the leader. It gives you some inspiration, Ned, if you can see him out there someplace. But right now, I don't know that Mark can see Dale Jarrett.
No, 9 seconds behind. I expect he probably can't see very much. I'm sure his spotter's keeping him aware of where he is.
If he does, he's got awfully good eyesight, that's for sure.
Better than I am.
Almost 10 seconds. The interval now growing between that guy, the 28th car, Dale Jarrett, is up behind the 9th and 10th place cars.
32 car.
32 car, Dale Jarrett. Thank you, Brady Parsons. Let's see, the 3 and the 2. Yeah, the Mac Tools Ford. How's that, Dale Jarrett? And there is the 60 car in second spot. As you take a look at our field summary and show you when your favorite driver is running. Remember, just 10 cars are in the lead lap, with Jarrett Martin, Labonte, LaJoy, and Spencer in the top 5.
There we see Green, Craven, Benson, McLaughlin, and Phil Parsons about to go a lap down to the leader. Jeff Burton, Fedewa, Schrader, Shepherd, Purvis, all those guys racing almost bumper to bumper. And Sawyer, LePage, Hensley. Jimmy Hensley started last in the 35 car. We see work his way up there. Johnny Rumley back in 25th. Patty Moise in 22nd.
Jason Keller had made an early pit stop before. He's back in the pits right now in the Budget Gourmet car just for a splash of fuel to get him through the rest of this race. He knew he wouldn't be able to go all the way when he came in before. Well, they're changing left side tires. Bill Weber, I guess they changed right side tires the other time.
That's exactly right, Ned. They did put on the right side, and as you pointed out, they knew they weren't going to be able to go the distance on fuel, so they were holding back those 2 left side tires. And here on lap 80, they came in, topped it off, put on those 2 left side tires, and sent out Jason. He's really disappointed coming off the big win at Indianapolis last time out.
So 40 laps later, he pitted on lap 38, comes back in 42 laps later on lap 8. Here's a battle between the car number 20 and the car number 3. They are 5th and 6th on the racetrack with the car between them on the racetrack.
Looks like Jimmy Hensley, the car that's between them.
And Jimmy Hensley driving the McLaughlin car.
He's subbing for Doug Hebron. By the way, one of which Doug Hebron a speedy recovery. He tagged the wall hard here on Thursday morning in practice, and we were told he broke his left ankle. And so Doug Hebron out of that car. Hensley subbing. He started shotgun on the field.
All four of those cars together are racing for position. Hensley isn't, but the 3-car and the 2-car, Ricky Craven, has caught that group. So the 3 of the 4 cars are racing for position.
That is 5th, 6th, and 7th as they move by the lap car of Jimmy Hensley. 5th place car is the 20 car, the FINA car coming around at you. That's the 5th place car. The 3 car is 6th, and the 2 car is in the 7th spot.
That pack of cars are about 4 or 5 seconds in front of Dale Jarrett, watching that much. Going a lap down, Jarrett did just put a lap on the 34 car of Mike McLaughlin. Now there are 8 cars on the lead lap.
Goodrich Chevrolet for Jeff Green. Teresa Earnhardt on the machine. Riding behind Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy told me he's going to run his own operation next year, run about 15 races in Busch competition.
And by the way, if you're wondering about the spoilers, the rear spoilers in the Busch series, I'm told that the rear spoilers are the same for the Ford and Chevrolets here on the Busch cars this weekend. They haven't made a difference in the spoilers on the Busch cars. As we see Spencer, 3 abreast, trying to get on the inside of LePage. And Kenny Wallace and the Jeff Green car side by side. And here comes Craven. He'll try to make it 3 abreast if he can get a good run down the front straightaway. But he could not get that run. And
well, here they are 3 abreast again. Kenny Wallace being shown in 26th position, 2 laps down.
Well, they have shattered the race record thus far. Dale Jarrett just absolutely blistering this 2-mile racetrack, 169.228 miles per hour at lap 84. We are just 16 laps away from the conclusion of the Detroit Gasket 200, and Jarrett has been a dominating factor.
Tell you one thing, Ned, he better have a lot to say in victory lane.
We're going to have some time in the field if he keeps going.
I'm telling you, there's Green going by Spencer, taking the spot away. Here comes Craven, trying his best to get by Spencer. It's a good run for Ricky Craven in the DuPont car.
That's 5th, 6th, and 7th. Now Green is the 5th place car. Craven is 6th, and they shuffle Spencer back to 7th.
Now there are just 7 cars on the lead lap. Johnny Benson just went a lap down, and so we're watching. There's Jarrett out front, just past Johnny Benson, a lap to go.
Laps are winding down. 15 to go here at Michigan. Dale Jarrett showing the way with Martin, Terry Labonte, Randy LaJoie, Jeff Green in the top 5. Back in a moment. Might want to have the starting lineup for tomorrow loaded. Probably already got it. Probably way ahead of us, but it wouldn't hurt. Okay. Gosh, he's going to run that well tomorrow. I'm going to take a plane home.
Did he run that 32 car at Talladega then?
No.
So he hasn't run
since Milwaukee.
You know we're on course to set a record.
Right. In the Busch.
Hope you can join us tomorrow after the race at Michigan. Rusty Wallace joins us on Shop Talk, a complete line of Rusty Wallace collectibles, plus an interesting look at the man behind the racer. That's tomorrow's Shop Talk following the race from Michigan.
And indeed, I will look forward to that visit with Rusty Wallace. Boy, Dale Jarrett's continuing just to set a blistering pace here in the Mac Tools Ford Thunderbird. Last lap speed, 170.620 miles per hour. And folks, that is 88 laps into the race. He's running over 170 miles an hour.
And his qualifying speed was just over 174. So normally they slow down quite a bit, more than 4 miles an hour during the race. And here he's coming up on the Rich Bickle car, number 54, putting him another lap down.
And also Jimmy Spencer in the field loop car is going a lap down. The 7th place car is now a lap down to our leader, Dale Jarrett, in the Mac Tools car. There we see McLaughlin and Phil Parsons still racing position. That's for what, Ed?
That is for the 9th and 10th position.
And there's the 8th place car, Johnny Benson, right in front of him.
Speaking of Johnny Benson, let's check in his pits with Kyle Petty.
Well, I talked to Bertie down here, the crew chief, and he said, look, as fast as Dale's running, they should have went home last night, just like I told you guys I should have went home. But he said what they're trying to do right now, they've run better than Chad has all day long. They're trying to pad their point lead a little bit. All they could hope for until they got lapped was to catch a caution and have a shot and maybe picking up a few positions and only having to race 6 or 7 cars. But other than that, all they can do is ride around out there, make some points, and go to the next race, and hopefully Dale Jarrett won't show up.
Well, he's doing a good job of getting those points if he can hang on there where he's at right now in 8th position, where Chad Little is running in 24th position.
Evidently, the 55-car feeder will run out of fuel or something. They stopped to put gasoline in it, and it will not refire. And we can see those 3 guys are about done for. No, they're pushing into the garage area.
And he was actually being shown in the top 15 in 13th position. Here's the car number 3 coming down pit road. Jeff Green will dive on the pit road here with just 10 laps to go. And John Curran, what's the deal? They're running low on fuel?
Apparently so. They've just now got sprung into action very, very quickly. Green is coming in. The signboard is out. We're coming all the way down into pit number 3. And yes, it's just going to be a splash and go. Apparently he felt the fuel pressure drop just a little bit, so he needs to come in for a few gallons to get this race finished.
I tell you what, that's all he got was a few gallons. And I tell you, he's got 18 miles to go. If he's getting 5 miles a gallon, he should have gotten 4 gallons in there.
You know, he went 50 laps halfway on his first pit stop. Are they using more fuel now, or did they not get it full of fuel?
They probably did not get it full the first time he came in.
I don't believe maybe they didn't get it completely full, 22 gallons, and that may have cost him a shot at a top 5 finish.
There were a lot of cars that came down pit road as they were coming to get to the halfway mark. Dale Jarrett did go 51 laps, so don't know if they got it full of fuel or not, but I'm sure that as they see these other cars come in who stopped on lap 50, they got to be wondering too.
They better have to get it full, I tell you, because if they didn't, he'll be on pit road. John Kernan?
Well, you're exactly right. Tony Uri tells me now we did not get it completely full when we pitted at 50 laps. They knew they would have to come in about 10 laps from the end.
And you got to wonder if Mark Shook, otherwise known as Digger down there in the Mac Tools pits, may have gotten Dale Jarrett's car full of fuel.
I'll bet he says he did. And I'll bet he did.
A little bit of trivia. Mark Shook's the guy that made NASCAR put a rule in if you use one jack, but you have to use a jack, because a few years ago when that car fell off the jack, Mark reached over and picked the car up. He's a big boy.
He is a big boy, and one of the finest people in the business.
Heck of a guy. Dale Jarrett showing the way here with 7 laps to go. He was the pole sitter. His first Super Speedway pole, and we're on a record pace here. Guys, the fastest race in the history of Busch competition was at Talladega in July of 1994. That was 167.473 miles per hour. We have a chance of breaking that today with this caution-free event at MIS.
And we see the Ricky Craven car right in front of our leader, Dale Jarrett. He's in 5th place, and Jeffrey is going a lap down. There's our 2nd place car, Mark Martin. Started 2nd, he is running 2nd. So obviously qualifying in, we talked about the faster cars being scattered through the pack. The fact of the matter was the fastest 2 cars was on the front row.
Yeah, they were. They've shown that all during this race.
There's your field summary. Jarrett, Martin, Labonte, LaJoie, and Ricky Craven in the top 5. Good run for Randy LaJoie as well. Only 5 cars on the lead lap.
And you see Spencer, Benson, Parsons, McLaughlin, and Burton. That's Ward Burton.
Elton Sawyer back in 15th. And then we checked with the Dale Jarrett pit, and you'll be relieved to know they said they did get the car full.
Good. That is a relief.
And if they did, we'll see how fast Mark Shook can run. Take a look at the cars that are out of the race. Cars that are laps down. Our leading rookie contender, 5 laps down. Jeff Fuller, We might mention 5 laps to go in this race, and this race is going to end obviously early going caution-free, but we're going to stay here and bring you some of the exciting action coming up, including Wilson Cup practice. Here's a battle on the racetrack.
Now we see the 74 car, Benson, and the 20 car of Spencer and Phil Parsons. And Spencer's car is evidently not handling well at all because he was running about 4th place and has fallen back to now about 7th and is in jeopardy of losing that to Phil Parsons, and looks like he is going to lose it down in turn 1.
And Phil having a good run here today down on the inside. He'll try to take the measure of him in the turn there, and he does get out in front of him. He can drift up there now. No, it's too late now to drift up. Phil should have blocked him off there, but didn't see that opening, and Spencer came right on by on the outside. Those tires are hot.
That is 6th, 7th, and 8th position right there. Parsons once again trying to get by for 7th spot. Now Benson is in 6th position. We got to remind you that Chad Little is back way back in the field in 21st spot, 2 laps back, so Benson could really improve on that front lead.
And we see Rich Bickle in the Kleenex car diving down to the inside. Evidently he stopped and changed some tires because he is clearly faster than these cars right now.
Yeah, and he helped Phil there in the draft and just moved right on by Spencer before they got to the turn that time. So Phil was able to drift up in the group that he wants to run now.
And we see Phil in the Luxair car has been able to pass Spencer as Patty Moise had a great run going in now. She is slow on the apron of the racetrack going down pit road.
She was in 18th position in the Dial Purex car, the Doug Taylor-owned Ford Thunderbird, and she has to apparently come down pit road for at least a splash of fuel. Laps winding down, and there's the man they're chasing. 3 to go. It'll be 2 this time by for Dale Jarrett.
I think he has run up behind these two cars, Jerry, and is content to run there behind them, try to conserve fuel as much as he possibly can, run in that draft, and you know, if he gets up there and tries to pass him, he's going to, every time you mash that accelerator down, it takes a little bit more fuel. And so I think that's what he's doing right now. He caught him in a hurry, but he's just sitting there riding, which is a smart thing to do. Way to go, Dale. That's the way to do it, bud.
I see Patty Moise is going back on the racetrack, so evidently it was a splash of fuel that she stopped for. And we see Dale Jarrett coming off the corner. Looks like he's going to get the white this time, Ned.
White flag should be waving by Carl Simmons. And he does indeed get the white flag.
Dale Jarrett has 9 career Busch victories, 1 here in 1995. That's coming at Milwaukee on the Milwaukee Mile, 1 mile flat racetrack.
Ned, I know this isn't the Daytona 500, but I tell you what, we're going to let you go. What's your emotions as he's coming down the back straightaway?
Well, certainly he's had a great car all day long, and he's done a great job of driving it as we watch McLaughlin and Kenny Schrader here. Schrader handling 4 positions. Schrader just picked him up a position, didn't he?
Moved into 10th place in there.
Yeah, sure did. And here's Jarrett now coming off of turn number 4. He can coast from here on out, picking up his 10th win in the Busch Series.
All right, he did it.
Dale Jarrett takes the checkered flag. What a grand run here this afternoon. I'll tell you, I'm impressed, regardless of who he is. I mean, I haven't seen a car that dominant in Busch competition in a long, long time.
Let's go down to Bill Weber with John Irvin, the crew chief. Bill?
Well, I'm right in the middle of this big congratulatory celebration down here on pit road, fighting my way to get to John Irvin, and he's certainly a happy man here. We're going to swing our way over here and pull him out. And John Irvin, let me tell you, is not just a friend of the family, he's part of the family. And his driver came home today, his 2nd win of the season, his 10th career Busch Series win. John, congratulations.
Thank you, Bill. It's pretty good, 2 in a row. I appreciate all the help of Mac Tool and Hudson Technology, and Dale's got the flu bug today, but it didn't seem to bother him. And I will say hello to my wife who's home today with a broken leg.
How much fuel's left in that thing? Any idea?
I would imagine about half a gallon.
Well, John Irvin, that's enough to get to victory lane, and that's all they need right now. The Mac Tools Ford goes to victory lane.
56-year-old John Irvin, boy, he's been around the Jarrett family a long, long time. He was one of your crew chiefs, Ned, for many years, helped you make it in.
We see the car stopping down there. These cars have to maintain a rear spoiler 65 degrees or something. Had to check the 32 car to make sure his spoiler was legal before he's able to go to victory lane. There we see the officials measuring all the rear spoilers.
And let's see now, as these cars go back to the garage area and Dale Jarrett heads to victory lane, Kyle Petty, who's been our pit announcer. Kyle, where are you headed, man?
I'm going over here to the truck. I'm going to take off my clothes, get naked, get in the air conditioning for a few minutes, have me something to drink, and I'm going to go test. for tomorrow, but I don't know why I should with the way that 28 car's running. I might as well just get on a plane and go.
No, wait a minute. You left out the part about putting your other fire suit on. You should put that on before you go test.
No, I don't put my other fire suit on. I'm an ESPN guy all day long on Saturday. That's my job, man.
Okay. Hey, what are we expecting in happy hour now, Kyle, coming out this last hour of practice?
Wow. All right, Dale Jarrett's in his car, and a lot of people here. He's getting ready to take the steering wheel off. Bill Broderick, the infamous hat man that you met yesterday with Benny Parsons during our qualifying show on ESPN2, is getting ready to get Dale out of the car. He's asking for a towel to wipe his face off, and now he's getting a drink of Gatorade. Dale should be out of the car momentarily. Gets the sunglasses. Have to have those sunglasses. You have to style here in Victory Lane, and you see the smile from Jarrett. Let's listen. All right, Dale, what a dominant performance. Congratulations.
Yeah, these days are fun. I tell you, you don't get a car like this much, but just a super car, thanks to Mac Tools and new company we had come on board as an associate, Hudson Technologies out of New York. Kevin and guys, appreciate that. This thing just ran great. I tell you, John Callis and Robert and Doug Yates and all the guys in the engine shop there at Robert Yates Racing just gave me an awesome power plant. I think you could see that on the straightaways, and it made my job a lot easier.
Now, Kyle Petty worked with us as a pit reporter today, and he asked Ned if you were going to run this way tomorrow. He said he's just going to go hop in a plane and go home.
Yeah, I tell you, it's going to be hard to beat this, but we've got an awesome car tomorrow. Texaco Haviland Mac Tools Ford is good. We were great this morning in practice, so I really look forward to having the opportunity to win 2 races here this weekend. Got to say hello to Kelly and Natalie and Carson, who are sick, and Zachary, who's doing okay. So hello, everyone back in Catawba County.
Now, this was the same motor that carried you to victory at Milwaukee, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Just awesome. I tell you, it really gets up off the corner and just doesn't give up anywhere. And hey, it's just great. It makes my job easier. I raced with Mark there a while to see if he might be getting through the corner some way better, but I knew that I had a good car then.
All right, well, congratulations on the win. Dale Jarrett here in Victory Lane, and there's John Urban hugging his driver. These guys are extremely happy, Jerry.
As Dale Jarrett celebrates, let's follow and see where Kyle Petty may have gone off to. Now, Kyle said he was going to head back toward the rig and get some of that equipment off and take it easy. Well, he hadn't changed clothes yet. Let's go to Kyle.
Well, I knew you guys were coming back, and I didn't want to get naked in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just I'm going to hang out here a minute. We don't have the pit road practice like we used to. But I want to tell you something. I heard you guys talk all during the race about this being a 2-groove racetrack. Remember how bad it was the first time up here? How some of the Winston Cup cars, like Ricky Rudd, when he got hurt, Dale Earnhardt, where you try to pass somebody on the outside, you get up in the outside loose stuff, and they slam the wall. It wasn't that way this time. It wasn't that way today in the Busch race. It hadn't been that way in practice. The only thing is that this track's a little bit older. It's got a few more laps on it, and it got really, really greasy this morning whenever the sun did come out. So I was really surprised the Busch race went as long as it did without a caution, because the racetrack did get slick. Some of those guys complained about looseness, and I'm afraid that's what we're going to be fighting this last hour. A lot of guys are going to be fighting a slick racetrack.
So, Kyle, when you go on the racetrack, you'll go out with worn tires and trying to simulate into 30, 40 laps into a run?
Basically, that's what we're going to do. We've got a set of tires sitting over there right now with 28 laps on them. We talked about it this morning. We took a half a can of fuel out. We're going to go out and try to run 15 or 20 laps if we can, if I can hold my breath that long, and see what the car does and see where it goes to, because you're not going to have a lot of time in this last hour to make adjustments. And being the superior qualifying that I am, I missed another race and had to use a provisional. So we ended up using this morning's practice session trying to get ready for qualifying. So basically, that's what everybody's going to do. Try to overcompensate or try to compensate for the slick racetrack. Because if the Busch race goes this way without cautions, you can just about bet the Winston Cup race is not going to have a lot of cautions. And if you don't start right on the money, somebody like Dale Jarrett's going to lap you early on.
So, Kyle, if we follow you and you run 5 laps and come in the pits, that means there's something wrong. You're making some adjustments. If everything's okay, you run 15, 20 laps.
Yeah, exactly. If everything, I'll probably run the first time and get a plug check because we have changed motors. But more than likely, second time out, if I don't run 10 or 15 laps, then I've got some problems and I'm making some major adjustments.
Okay, Kyle, thanks for joining us. We'll let you go get changed and get cooled off, and we'll cut the camera off while you go get naked. There's the rubber up against the outside wall. Looks pretty clean. Ordinarily, you see a lot more than that from a lot of tire wear, but not the case, Ned.
Really, I'm surprised that there isn't more than that up there.
Well, the Detroit Gasket 200 is history, and Dale Jarrett has picked up his second win in 1995 in dominating fashion as they celebrate Mac Tool style there in Victory Lane. Back in a moment.
Man, I couldn't believe that car.
Okay, all right. All right.
Ned, I wanted to say when he said, you know, it was perfect, had a great day and what have you, I said, yeah, but you ruined our day.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you have a great day, you ruin our day.
That's the truth. Well, we had some good racing going on back there, and unfortunately they picked that up. And manufacturers' points now should be Ford in the lead, I guess.
In Busch?
Because they were just 1 point apart, right?
Well, they're going to run 65 degrees of Rouge Pole or something.
Right.
That's pretty good. Qualified 174 and average 169.5.
I mean, that is impressive. That really is impressive. Yeah.
Okay. Our Speed World coverage of the Detroit Gasket 200 has been brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. By Texaco, Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. And by the NASCAR Story. To order, call 800-71-NASCAR. Take a look at our full field rundown. 42 cars started. Only 5 finished in the lead lap. And Dale Jarrett dominated today, leading 89 of 100 laps.
See, Phil was not able to catch Benson, so that's a few more points that Johnny Benson was able to gain on Chad Little. Jeff Green back in 15th spot, had to stop for that splash of fuel there near the end.
And you can see Chad Little wound up in 22nd position, so Johnny Benson did gain quite a few points on him there today. We'll have that for you a little bit later on.
And 31 through 42, the last page. Curtis Markham at 31 spot, 31st spot, 6 laps down. Now, how about those top 5 in points? We told you that coming in there was a 7-point separation. Now, Johnny Benson finished 6th. Chad Little finished 22nd. Therefore, Benson added 53 points. And here's the interval now. 60 points separating Benson and Little. McLaughlin still in 3rd. Keller is 4th, and Jeff Green is 5th. Now take a look at 6 through 10. Larry Pearson, Tim Fedewa, Elton Sawyer, Bobby Dodder, and Phil Parsons in the top 10. Now talk about good runs today. Randy LaJoie had a great effort today. He's standing by with Phil Parsons.
Phil Parsons? Wait a second. Randy, do I look like Phil Parsons to you? Watch out. Here comes Steve Grissom. Cooling him off a little bit. Hey, 4th place today. Not too bad, huh?
I tell you what, I got to give Dennis Shoemaker thanks for giving me a chance after I got fired. I got to thank my family, my friends that stuck behind me and knew I could still drive a race car. Or so did I. We had a good race car, good team. Duralube is a good sponsor. And you put that together, you have some fun, and you finish in the top. It's a wonderful feeling to know confidence level's really up right now. Wish we could have done better, but 4th is very good. Terry took 2 tires on a pit stop. We took 4. We didn't have nothing but Dale Jarrett. I think we could have run with Mark. But, hey, 4th is good. Take it. Go on to Bristol. Have a good time.
So this is for the rest of the year, right?
Yeah, we're going to drive this Duralube car for the rest of the year and hopefully finalize some plans here for next year pretty quick.
All right. Well, best of luck to you. Congratulations on a 4th place finish today, Randy. Now let's go over to Bill Weber. At least I think it's Bill Weber, right?
That's right, John, and I'm here with Elton Sawyer, a 14th place finish here in this Busch race. I know it was hot out there. You're about to get in the Hooters Ford. What did you learn today that you're going to be able to use out there now and tomorrow, Elton?
Well, the racetrack's extremely tight, you know, and the more rubber we put down, the tighter it got. So we just have to work on the Hooters Ford to at least start it as free as I can possibly stand it, because I know it's going to get tighter as the race goes on. Great race. Congratulate Dale Jarrett and Mark. They did a heck of a job. Bob and all of our guys did a great job on the red carpet team. We were just off a little bit, but we're off to Bristol.
Okay, and he's off to get in his car, and I can tell you a little story about Elton Sawyer. He's in a little bit of limbo right now because his car owner, Bob Sutton and Brad Aiken, told us yesterday that Dennis Setzer has signed to drive that car for 1996. So Dennis Setzer will be back in the Busch Series with a full-time ride next season in that 38 car. They're shopping for a sponsor at this point, it appears. But Elton Sawyer, who moved into the Hooters Ford midway through this season, now is desperately searching for a full-time ride. He wants to finish this season top 5 in Busch points and move into the Winston Cup Series next season. Let's go back up top.
Well, Elton Sawyer hoping to be able to run full-time Winston Cup. Dennis Setzer comes back to the Busch Series. Now, RPM tonight debuts September 3rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Kenny Mayne will have all the exciting highlights from Winston Cup and IndyCar events around the country. We'll come back with more action from here in a moment.
You know, Kyle said the racetrack was slick this morning, slipping and sliding, and
he said it was tight.
He said he got tighter as the day went on. So
I wrote a thing here: to be successful in racing, one must be committed, willing to sacrifice, and resist temptation when it comes to wanting to quit. Some of the same traits that will help you in life's pursuits. That's the message one driver is taking to America's youth. Yeah, something like that.
you going straight to that piece? Be a good idea because they're blowing off the track. They got that jet over there and everything, trying to get that stuff off the track.
Okay. He finished 16th today. Okay. Those two, and then the shot of the track being blown off after those two, and then the piece. Okay. Back at Michigan International Speedway, Dale Jarrett dominated today, led 89 of 100 laps. There were 4 lead changes, no caution flags, and a new Busch Grand National Series Super Speedway record, average speed 169.571 miles per hour. A few post-race notes. Phil Parsons made a move.
He moved from 14th to 10th in the points. I tell you, it pays to finish these races, doesn't it?
And Jeff Fuller was the best finishing rookie, finishing in 29th place, and it was the 10th win for Ford this season in the Busch Series.
They are blowing off the rubber there. They have the big sweepers out, and they're blowing off the rubber, trying to get the track ready for Winston Cup practice, what they call happy hour, affectionately known, that last hour of practice, trying to get those cars dialed in for race setups. You heard Kyle Petty talking about going out on 20 or 30 lap old tires and have the cars skid around and try to dial it in for that middle portion of the race when the cars get a little bit loose and the track gets slick. Now, to be successful in racing, one must be committed, must be willing to sacrifice and resist temptation when things fall apart and you want to quit. Those are some of the same traits that will help you in life's pursuits. That's the message one driver is taking to America's youth. Let's take a look at Rich Bickle and his involvement with kids across America. Edgerton, Wisconsin native Rich Bickle certainly has had reason to celebrate. That's because it's usually pretty easy to locate car 54, his Kleenex Ford ride, at the head of the Busch Grand National Field. The noise and hustle of racing is really a stark contrast to the quiet, unassuming demeanor of this gentle giant, whose off-track activities have had considerable impact on kids across America. It is a program designed to send a message of hope to youngsters, a hope that they too someday can be successful.
He's a show car, man. It's something that, where we race at each track, we donate 10% of our earnings to the dare chapters in the counties we race in. So that goes to all the dare chapters that help kids in, the drug programs and to the schools. And the Kleenex people have been behind that for a long time. It's kind of a good match. We've been with each other for the season. It's really turned out to be a good thing for everybody.
Keeping 14 days straight on the racetrack can be difficult enough, but the real challenge is to stay on course and focused in life. That's the message Rich carries into the classroom.
Anything you want to be and anybody you want to be, you just got to believe in it, and you can't get off that straight path. If you get off the right, you get off the left, it's hard to get back on it. And believe me, it's real easy, because when I was growing up and going to school, got to junior high, you know, I was playing sports and I was doing all this and doing all that. Well, that wasn't so bad. And the town I come from was only 4,400 people. I mean, out of this real small little town, and drugs weren't, you know, that prominent. You didn't hear nothing about it. Well, things change when you get to high school. You know, you get a lot of, you know, seniors and juniors putting pressure on you. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Well, let me tell you, I've been to plenty of parties and seen a lot of things, and I knew that wasn't for me, and, you know, so I just kind of stayed in my own way.
He spreads goodwill wherever he goes. This past Wednesday, his target, the Children's Hospital of Michigan.
What you in here for? I got asthma. I got mine when I was about 11 years old. It's not fun, is it? Well, I'll tell you what, you can beat it. You just got to keep on working. I used to be intense and doing all this stuff when I was a child. I had pneumonia quite a few times and did all that stuff, but I got a car for you. Like cars? You betcha, bud. How you doing? A little car for you. There we go. See you, Charlie.
Bye-bye.
Look at him. He's got the eyes in that camera. He's a ham. Are you a ham? Yeah, he's a ham. Where you going? What's your car we're going to run Saturday? An autograph? That's kind of what it sounds like in the car. You have a good time, kiddo. See ya. See ya. See ya. Bye.
No doubt, these smiles are the payoff for Rich Bickle's special brand of motorsports medicine.
It's really nice. I mean, you know, the better we finish, the more they get, you know. And besides doing this at the racetrack, you know, we've been going to a lot of hospitals, you know, for children's hospitals and doing a lot of school appearances. And that just kind of brings something to your heart, you know, that, you know, they're our next generation, and it's what we have to do, and you know, just to help them out just that little bit. You know, like the dare chapters, you know, for us, it's not if we help a whole bunch, but if we just help one, it's a big thing for us.
This is not unusual, guys, that the Busch Grand National drivers and Winston Cup drivers donate so much time to people who need some help and the people who aren't quite as fortunate.
Here Thursday night, I was not able to attend Thursday night, but I have the last 3 or 4 years. The Speedway here, Gene Gasket, has the Boy Scout dinner. And how many 25, 30 Winston Cup drivers showed up this Thursday night and raised somewhere near $100,000 for the local Boy Scout chapter? That's a tremendous amount of money.
Yeah, it really is. And I think this was the 5th year, and now they've raised about $350,000 total over that period of time. And that's an example of what goes on. We don't hear about it a lot of times, but there are golf tournaments that are benefit tournaments. There are things done for the NASCAR Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary, which does good work in the sport of auto racing, and various charity functions. We have the Ned Jarrett American Cancer Society golf tournament each year. We just had it a few years ago down in Hickory, North Carolina at the Rock Barn Club of Golf, and raised about $40,000 for the American Cancer Society. So yeah, there's a lot of things that goes on, and they're happy to participate when they can.
So many worthwhile causes that the drivers are involved with here. And as we get set for Winston Cup practice, we got about 20 minutes remaining. We're going to carry some Winston Cup practice, and a great crowd on hand for Busch Racing. Saw Dale Jarrett dominate. They're going to sit and watch the big guys practice here in just a moment. Hey, John Kernan, Phil Parsons is a pretty good-looking guy, but I'm sorry about that. I looked down at a card and just absolutely had brain fade. I apologize.
And you didn't realize you had done it?
No, I absolutely had no idea. I was reading the card. I looked over at Benny, read the card, and just, gee. But I knew you guys wouldn't let that slide. Not this guy here.
I didn't say a word.
Oh, you didn't say that? Oh, Ned said it.
But you've seen that look on his face.
It was John who said that.
Oh, Phil Parsons.
John was the only one who said
it.
Hey.
Sorry about that.
You guys hear me? Yeah, there you go. I forgot what I said. What did I say?
Phil Parsons. Hey, what can I say?
No problem. No problem. It's been kind of a weird day down here in the pits anyway.
Extreme speed, pick NASCAR. That's pretty good.
Okay, Johnny's getting ready to get his picture taken. After he gets his picture taken, Chevy, we should be able to get with him.
Johnny who?
Back at Michigan International Speedway, exciting Winston Cup action coming your way tomorrow. Live flag-to-flag coverage at GM Goodwrench Dealer 400, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Stop number 21 on a 31 race, $38 million NASCAR Winston Cup Tour will be here for live flag-to-flag coverage at Michigan International Speedway, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Take a look at the manufacturer's battle here in Busch competition. Had a little bit of change today due to the win by Ford and Dale Jarrett.
And you can see 10 wins now for Ford, 9 for Chevrolet. It was tied going in. Chevrolet had the advantage by 1 point going in, but now Ford has the advantage by 4 points.
Let's check in the pits with Bill Weber.
And I'm standing by here with Chad Little, who's smiling on the outside, but is very disappointed on the inside. You lost 53 points here. You're 60 now behind Benson, a 22nd place finish. New car, obviously not what you were hoping for here, Chad.
You didn't have to tell me how many points we lost. I mean, I knew it was bad. I was like pouring some salt in that open wound, but yeah, it was a lesson today. We knew that it was a gamble to start with, but I think we got a little greedy. You know, our other 4 cars we've actually won races with this year. A race with each car and 2 with a couple of them, and we thought we could, you know, build a better, stronger race car, and it turned out that we couldn't do it right now. I'm sure it's a good car, but we just need some time with it, and it's probably too much of a gamble, you know. But looking back, we do it over. We had another shot, but we made the mistake, and now we just have to make the best of it. We got 7 more races, and we can just, you know, buckle down and do the best we can and try to still shoot for that championship.
Yeah, you had to come from behind once before to get in front. Now you have to do it again.
Yeah, you know, maybe this will make everybody even more hungry. You know, going back to like when I got hurt about a year and a half ago, everyone was real hungry then, and maybe this will do that again and just turn us around and be that much stronger. We're going to some of our best racetracks these last 7 races, so we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Chad Little has his fingers crossed. He's still chasing Johnny Benson, and Johnny is with John Kernan.
Johnny is with Johnny, and Johnny, a good run for you today after 2, well, let's see, first time I talked to you at Michigan, you were tumbling down the backstretch last year, broke a motor. Today, a solid finish, and I think your points lead added 53, so you're up to 60 over Chad now.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've just had such a tremendous year, and, you know, we didn't like to get that lap down, but, you know, finishing 6th, we're real happy. You know, Lipton Team Monte Carlo's running good, and, you know, everybody's just doing a great job. We can't complain.
Birdie told me on Thursday that the #1 thing for the rest of the season for you guys is to finish races. Is that the way you look at it?
Well, to finish races the best we can, and that's pretty much what we've been doing all year. And you know, Jarrett was pretty tough today. You know, I wish we could be almost as stout as that. But you know, I think in all around being, as far as being consistent, we've been that, and I think that's a big important in a championship.
Have you been down to Bristol where we're going next week to do some testing, or how do you feel about that place?
Bristol's all right. It's we haven't tested. We only tested 3 times this year, and I guess we're just saving them up. You know, yeah, we've been doing good without tests. Every time we test, something usually happens. So we've just been going to the track and doing the best we can.
All right. Well, that's been great strategy so far, Jerry.
Indeed, as the Winston Cup cars come peeling out of the garage area, John, we will watch some Winston Cup practice. By the way, you heard Chad Little mention about their tracks are coming up. We will be following the Busch Series coming up next couple of weeks. Next Friday night, Food City 250, Bristol, Tennessee, Thunder Valley. How about that? Larry Carrier's facility in the Gatorade 200 at Darlington. The fans go wild on their feet enjoying what is going to come up. Hopefully you're going to enjoy it too. We'll come back with Winston Cup practice from Michigan. Okay.
I'd like to mention, if I can sometime, mention that cruise in tonight. I think it's going to be a pretty neat deal.
What's that?
Cruise in tonight.
Oh, cruise.
They're going to close Woodward Avenue from 8 Mile to 15 Mile, and they're going to cruise like they did back in the late 50s. But cars just cruise up and down Woodward in 57 Chevrolets and 60 Fords. And
my goodness. It's been a beautiful day for racing here in Brooklyn, Michigan. Michigan International Speedway, the side of today's Detroit Gaskets 200, won by Dale Jarrett. And as you see him continuing to clean the racetrack. And one other driver who had a pretty good run today is standing by with Bill Weber.
11th place finish for Mike McLaughlin, and third in the points. And we were just discussing our view of the race today. Give me your view of today's activity.
Well, I learned a little bit. I lack a little bit of a Speedway experience. I felt in the beginning we had a little bit better race car than when I was running. I was making some moves that didn't work, but I learned from it, so that's good. And then we pitted and put sticker tires on, which tightened the car up, and I was losing a lot of speed through the corner. But finished in one piece. French's Black Flag crew, they're happy. They don't have to do a whole lot of work this week, so we'll go on to the next one.
How about Bristol, Mike? Obviously, that's been a big chore for you guys to tackle.
Yeah, we've worked on that a little bit, and I'm just hoping that we learned enough to go back there and be competitive. I feel better about it. We tested 3 days there, so we're looking forward to go there and see what we can do.
Okay, and he goes to Bristol next week, third in points. Guys?
Mike McLaughlin hanging on the third spot. And take a look at the starting field for tomorrow. Bobby Labonte, second pole of the year, first Super Speedway pole, takes the Joe Gibbs car to the front row alongside Ricky Rudd, Mark Martin, John Andretti, who finished fourth here back in June. Great run for the Little Caesars car. The Cranifus Haas machine starts fourth, and Brett Bodine is fifth.
6 through 10, Bill Elliott, Trickle, Earnhardt. So 2 Chevrolets in the top 8. Jeremy Mayfield continues his good qualifying, and Kenny Wallace. Great qualifying run for Wallace.
And 11th through 15th, Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Burton with a good qualifying run. Terry Labonte starts 13th. He was strong in practice this morning. Sterling Marlin back in 14th, and Ward Burton starts 15th.
And 16 through 20, Ricky Craven. There's Dale Jarrett, who won this race today in dominating style, starts 17th tomorrow. Joe Nemechek, Jeff Bodine, and Elton Sawyer. Now you're saying, hey, where is Jeff Gordon, the guy who holds the track record? Well, if you missed qualifying yesterday, there's the car number 24. Not the car he came with originally here to race. That car had a problem in qualifying on Friday. Take a look.
As he went out to qualify, it started raining up in turn 3. He goes in the corner, gets in the water, knocks the front end and the back end off the car. And they had to go to a backup car. That's it. And they're now trying to get that car dialed in. It's dialed in pretty doggone good because he did qualify this car that you're seeing now in 21st position.
Yeah, in the second round qualifying today, this morning, he was the fastest of those. And like you say, he'll try to get her dialed in for the race now.
And we mentioned Dale Earnhardt will start 8th. His crew chief, Andy Petrie, stands by with John Kernan. John?
Well, getting ready for happy hour, Andy. Some say the most important practice of the weekend. What do you guys look for in this practice session?
Well, we try to have all the intensive stuff done before this last practice so we can just put our race motor in, our race gear and axles, and just kind of run everything in and check it out, and hopefully everything's good, driver's happy, and not practice a long time. But most of the time it turns into be a big thrash with change springs, chase the racetrack after this Busch race. And you know, the sun's out now, and it wasn't really that hot this morning when we practiced, so we'll have to make some adjustments for that and see how much tape we can put on the grill. There's a lot to the last practice, but we try not to do too much.
But it's not just going out and running, doing a fuel run, right? I mean, it's a lot of small things.
Yeah, no, we tried to get the long runs out of the way this morning, and we'll maybe make a 10-lap run today, but probably not much more than that in the last practice. We don't want to put that kind of miles on our motor.
Yeah, but how satisfied has Earnhardt been with the car, or is he one of those guys who always wants you guys to keep tweaking to find a little more?
No, actually, he likes to get the car good, comfortable, and not change a lot. Now, he doesn't want to keep searching and searching, especially in the last practice, unless we need to. If we're competitive and he's comfortable out there, we'll leave it alone. We won't make any changes. But, you know, a lot of times this year, these other guys have been pushing us pretty hard. We've been having to work on it a lot and even changing it on Sunday morning.
Well, he's gone now, Chocolate. I was going to ask you exactly what Chocolate did in the afternoon, but we can't show it now anyway.
We're trying to figure the same thing out.
All right, thanks, Andy. All right, guys.
Andy Petrie. Now, Earnhardt, you know, finished 23rd back in where's Chocolate Myers, and he's wide open right there. That's about as fast as Chocolate gets. And we are told they've just cut the blowers off. They've been trying to sweep this racetrack and get it nice and clean for the final practice session. There goes that jet dryer back toward the garage area. We'll take a quick break and come back with happy hour, the final few minutes of practice here at MIS. Back in a moment.
Of the 42 cars are out there.
Okay.
I got 40, it was 42.
Whose car is that? Okay. Car is just rolling off a pit road. They'll take a lap or two to get warmed up here. And later today, IndyCar pole qualifying come up on ESPN2, 4 p.m. Eastern time from Loudon, New Hampshire. Of course, tomorrow, NASCAR Today coming up at noon Eastern time on ESPN2. And, of course, our live coverage, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. ESPN Live, flag-to-flag coverage at GM Goodrich Dealer 400 from MIS right here at Michigan International Speedway. And 1 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2, IndyCar racing in the New England 200 from Loudon, New Hampshire. The car is just getting warmed up, getting up to speed, and while they do that, we'll take a quick break and come back and show you a few moments of the final practice session. They call it happy hour, and we'll tell you why when we come back. We're back at Michigan International Speedway. Final practice session. Left side of your screen, Bobby Labonte, a 24 car, Jeff Gordon, and Benny, as you said a moment ago.
That's exactly how they finished in June. Bobby Labonte won the race, and Jeff Gordon finished second. And that's about how close they were when they came down for the checkered flag. There's Joe Nemechek, the Burger King car, closing up on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon. And John Andretti in the Kmart Ford.
Had a great qualifying run. John Andretti starts fourth, and as Jerry mentioned earlier, he finished fourth here in June. He likes this racetrack. Has a lot of laps here. Says he has as many laps on this racetrack as far as the Winston Cup track has more here than anywhere.
Guys, what are these car owners like Jack Roush you see right here? What are he and some of the other car owners and the crew chiefs doing right now as these cars make this final practice?
They're listening more than anything else. You see he's folding his handkerchief. He isn't watching the car go around the racetrack. He's depending on Mark Martin to come on the radio and tell them what the car is doing. He will say, the car is pushing, the car is loose, it's skating, it's doing this, it's doing that. Right now, they're listening for everything that the driver says.
As you're riding along with Mark Martin right there. And here's the 3 and the 43 drafting together, Earnhardt and Bobby Hamilton. And here's Jeff Gordon. Ran about 4 or 5 laps, and now he's coming in. Why?
He might be getting a plug check. They might have installed a new engine in the DuPont car, so they've gotten a plug check to make sure that all the cylinders are burning equal, and they really don't have any chance of burning the piston. And we see Earnhardt probably doing the same thing. A lot of these cars have installed a different engine than they ran this morning. They're checking the distribution to make sure that they're not going to burn a piston in one of these engines.
Morgan Shepherd, Sitco Ford, Wood Brothers' own car. And he also has shut it off and is coming down pit road. Now, to get a plug check, you have to shut the engine off somewhere in the backstretch.
While the engine is at top RPM, you turn the ignition switch off and press the clutch in at the same time. And the engine does not turn over anymore. You go in and they pull those spark plugs out and take a look at them.
And they can tell, as you said, where they're burning equally and also if it's burning clean when they get it at top RPMs.
Here's Todd Bodine's Factory Stores Ford in front of the Meineke machine of Steve Grissom as these two cars are practicing out there trying to get their cars dialed in as best they can.
Steve Grissom had a pretty good qualifying run. He's somewhere around 30th, isn't he, Jerry?
Steve Grissom will start exactly 30th. You're right on the money, BP.
And Todd Bodine is struggling, continues to struggle in the Factory Stores car. He is 39th.
Had to take a provisional to get in the field.
Talk about a car that's run well. Look at Bill Elliott. Both these drivers here from Bill Elliott, the car number 94. He qualified the same car fourth at Indianapolis, finished fourth, led the most laps at the Brickyard in that McDonald's Ford, and the Kmart Little Caesars Ford in front of him, John Andretti. He will start outside of row 2 here in 4th starting spot.
We see the cars still sitting there. I mean, there's no point in sending 40 cars out at one time. They'll send them out, and they want about 20, 25 cars on the racetrack at one time in case there is something happens. See, right now, John Andretti will lose an engine. He'd only wipe out 3 or 4 cars, not 8 or 10 cars.
Well, here's the car number 28. That is Dale Jarrett's Texaco Howland Ford. He starts 17th tomorrow, but today the Detroit Gases 200, he was a dominant car, leading 89 of 100 laps. Once again, our live coverage coming up at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow from MIS, the GM Goodrich Dealers 400, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live flag-to-flag coverage. Once again, for Bill Weber, John Curtin, Ned Jarrett, and Benny Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch, congratulating Dale Jarrett on his win in the Detroit Gasket 200. So long, everyone.